Hi. This is just kind of an impromptu stream. I wanted to share everything that's new in the Procreate 5.2 update and give you a little peek into the beta. Hi, Vicky. Oh my gosh. I'm excited. I'm like super let me know if everything's working okay, because I don't know what I'm doing streaming on my own, and I'm trying to play music in the background, so if you can hear that or if it's too loud, let me know. Definitely working out the kinks. I don't know if you can see my hand shaking. But I got beta access to 5.2 last night, and I thought that this would be just a fun thing to hop on, walk through everything that's new, and then just do some low-key chilling and art. So I haven't explored immensely here. I've just done a tiny bit of dabbling last night because I got the email invitation kind of late, and yeah, that's let's get into it. So there's this new what's new button on the home screen that you pop into, and let's actually revisit that. So I think it paused here, which is super shiny. They haven't done this before as far as I know, and I just think it looks so cool. So the first thing, which I think is what they've been teasing the longest, is their drawing on 3D models. And this is like so wild. They have a model pack that you can download, and so far that's all I've been able to import. Oh no, you can't hear the background music. Okay. Oh, let's see if I can. Let me know if this is better. Thank you, Liv. Bear with me here. Yeah, definitely let me know if you can hear it now. I'm using a different program to try to loop in the background music. Worst case scenario, I'll just play it on my phone and you'll hear it through the speakers, or through my microphone. But I think that would be not as clean. So anyway, they have 3D models that you can start using right away. The 3D models need to have mesh wrapping texture that will allow you to do the actual painting. The Procreate update is not available yet. This is just the beta test that I wanted to share the sneak peek behind the scenes with you. When it is available, they don't have a date yet. It will push through, so if you have automatic updates on, it'll automatically go through. It's totally free. As always, all of Procreate's updates are free, and it's just the one-time purchase of the app, and then you own the software. So the 3D models is, I think, what they've been teasing the longest. I feel like we heard about it 6 months ago. And then you can also use AR, depending on your iPad model, to... It's too loud. Okay, I'm just glad you could hear it. Let me adjust it. Thank you again for your patience with me. I didn't even know if anybody would come to this at all, and so, all right, let's do... It's kind of in the middle. Let me know if that's better, Joanna. I appreciate you guys' patience with me. Like I said, I didn't know if anybody would come because I didn't email or post about this. I just wanted to pop in and hang out with you guys. It's better? Is it? I mean, okay. All right, good. Okay. Thank you, guys. Okay, so 3D models. The next big thing is a bunch of accessibility updates, and this is a multi-pronged update. So they have now voiceover integration, which voiceover is Apple's built-in accessibility software. So it has integration with voiceover, which will read the commands as you use them and the menu options. But it also gives you a lot more control over the interface. And there's single touch features, which allow you to customize the commands and change them so that they work for you. And we'll dive into more of this. I'm just going through the opening screen here. And then there's a ton of what I would deem quality of life updates. And this is the category that I think has like the most requested updates in it. So the biggest things, in my opinion, are they now have a recent brushes folder here. And what this means is that not only do your most recently used brushes show up, you can also swipe over to pin your favorite brushes. So anything that you use shows up, and it's always starred here at the very top of all of your brush lists. But then the other cool thing is that you can, in addition to pinning, you can also tap find, and it'll show you where like which brush set that brush is located in. So I think this is just going to be one of those things that makes, like, this is not my regular brush library. I only imported a few packs, but this is just going to make the mess of a ton of brush packs in your brush library so much easier to sort through. There aren't like folders within folders, but I just think having this one is going to be such a game changer. Something that I hope they do in the future that I was fingers crossed was going to be updated is I would love to have the brush panel be able to like pop out and hover while you draw. I know you can use quick menu, but like the color palette you can pull out, and it's so useful to hop back and forth. And being able to do that with the brush library would just be such a common sense update to me. I'm actually kind of surprised that they haven't, because I don't know anything about developing, but presumably they could, if they have the functionality to pop out the color palette, they could with the brush library. But M. Flibble, you started with the beta today. How are you finding it? Let me know what you think so far. Like I said, I haven't had much time to explore, but it's looking so good so far. And some of these, like I said, the quality of life updates are just going to be such game changers. Joanna says, I see so many comments saying how frustrating it is to see which brushes you've been using for your work. For sure, agree. And I think, I just think like being able to pin your most recently used is going to make you, like, your workflow will be faster. You can reorder brushes within a brush pack, but that you can pull all of these and you don't have to make a whole new brush set and spend all this time reorganizing your brushes. That's going to be huge. So I don't actually know how to do this next thing, but I want to learn with you here. So I know that one of the updates is that you can set size points. Oh, there it is. Okay. So you can set like favorite spots for your brush size. I don't know how to do, okay. Looks like that plus sign. Let's do this. And I don't know if you can, it's going to be kind of small on the screen here, but you can set 3 spots in these dashed lines. Will then allow you to hop in between. I wonder if you can do it on the opacity too. Oh, that's so cool. Okay, that's a amazing game changer. And then it just remembers it. Yes, that's so cool. Your daughter took your iPad. That's awesome. I wonder if you could No, I was wondering if you would have access on multiple devices, but I'm sure you wouldn't. Okay, good. That's really embarrassing. I definitely was trying a free trial of the software, and I thought it was just going to be like a limited amount of access to the software, but it turns out it was a limited amount of time. So I just had to purchase a license very quickly. All right. Thank you for bearing with me. I went ahead and purchased the full thing, so that won't happen again. Okay, so Streamline is not the same functionally as brush stabilization and this motion filtering. I could not tell you off the top of my head what the difference is, and I haven't played around with it. You can see the difference in the line. I would assume that this stabilization perhaps can somehow like keep the original intent of the line while smoothing, if that is a possible function. But essentially this is an accessibility update so that if you have hand tremors or just anything that you want more stabilization within the stylus and the brushes, that will help. So there's that within each individual brush. You can adjust those settings, but then there's also in your Procreate settings, you can change it so that it'll universally alter all of the brushes, similar to the pressure curve if you've ever played with that. So under the wrench, under preferences, there's this pressure and smoothing option. And this is really crazy. Like all of this stuff blows my mind. I was just turning on everything to like the max, and then when you draw it, let's choose a darker color here. It kind of like hovers over the canvas for a minute before the line stays. And so this means that like if you are like if you're taking say like a little longer to draw the brush stroke, this gives you that leeway. Let me know if I'm explaining this well enough. This is like so mind-boggling because it almost feels like it's a mix between vector and like the pen tool and then traditional raster drawing. And I just like love what this means, and truly like making art more accessible to everybody. Like that's so cool. So that's awesome that it's a universal setting, and then also that you could do it for individual brushes. Again, I don't know specifically the difference between all of these motion filtering and stabilization settings. So if I just turn on stabilization, okay, so it's a lot less smooth. Interesting. Either way, I know I've been in the Procreate forums, and the brush stabilization has been a huge request for a long time. So, or smoothing, those might have been both. Okay, so let's go into the 3D stuff, which I don't know how much I will actually use. Liv asks, can you download the beta for free? The beta was an application-only testing opportunity that they just sent out invites for last night. And so I applied like a week ago, and with the testing software, they can only have 10,000 applicants. And so some of it was randomized, some of it was if you specifically used 3D modeling. So you can't get access now, unfortunately. But I will say this is so polished. There are known issues. The list is not that long. I think that it'll probably come out within a month is my guess. I know that they like to have like a really robust beta test so that you don't get a bunch of issues with the actual release. I think that makes a ton of sense. I think we've seen software release like Photoshop where they lock themselves into a release date, and then there's things that probably should have been worked out before. So I think it's the way that they do it by not actually giving an exact day that the update will be released makes a lot of sense. But unfortunately for those of us that struggle with patience, that wait and like not knowing a date of when can be difficult for sure. So I feel you on that. Okay, so the 3D, you have to have like some specific things with models because I was trying to import one and it didn't have the right mesh wrapping for like actually painting on the model. But they do give you a set of like 8 or 10 different models that you can paint on. And they're like STL files. If you're into 3D modeling, you might have seen that. You might know what I'm talking about. I clearly don't. But under the model here in the layers panel, you do get functionally a bunch of different layers. And so you can add and delete things, and there's blend modes. And in addition to that, okay, this is the kind of thing that is important for the beta test. So this is a bug. I'm going to quick record my screen. So it looks like it froze. Which I'm not sure if this is a known issue. So let's just close that out. If you want a beta test in the future, I would definitely recommend signing up just for any of their email updates. I believe I found out via social media, but if you sign up for their notifications in the future, then you can be sure to apply. This would be termed their public beta. When Procreate Pocket was getting updated last year, I was part of the private beta, which I just applied on their forums. And that was very different from that. It was a smaller group and a like shorter beta testing period. And then we had to like sign a contract and not post about it. Geo says this looks like a great update. It is. It's super cool. I don't know how many of these like 3D modeling features I will be using, but I'm so excited to see what other people create with this stuff. So I was going to show you, you can change the surface texture and like what the texture of the specific layer that you're drawing on is going to accomplish. So if I change to metallic, it's going to only allow me to draw in black and white. And what that looks like then, if I zoom in here, is it starts to create this shiny metallic surface. And under settings, now that I'm working on a 3D model, there's this 3D option in the actions panel. And you can then go in and edit the lighting, just as you would in any 3D software. So they have a bunch of preset environments. And then you can adjust the light settings. You can change the colors. Oh, that's cool. And then I'm not going to show you on here because I don't like have the space, but you can preview in AR and like adjust the lighting for the environment that you're previewing it in. You can't use the 3D modeling for mock-up. Oh, sorry. I thought you meant could you create the 3D models? No, you can't create 3D models, but 100% for mock-ups, this will be super useful. So I wanted to see if we can copy in a layer and like pull artwork from something else. So let's see about that. Let's pull one of these default artworks, because for pattern mockups or for clip art, I think that this would be a game changer. Did it work? Is it loading? It didn't work. Can I import? Interesting. Okay, so this is the transform bar. So I'm assuming that the box will go away once I close the transform tool. Yes. Okay, so that would be amazing. I don't know how you do your mockups right now. I usually use Photoshop when I create mockups, and just having to switch back and forth is a pain. So being able to pull it onto your 3D models here, all in one program, copy over your layers, that's super, super cool. I'm not sure about like the wrapping function here. I think I just maybe didn't zoom in enough. But it seemed like kind of constrained. What if I tap transform here? Yeah, like, do you see how I'm zooming in, assuming that it would follow the curves of the model and like wrap further, but it does not seem to. It could be a resolution thing. Oh, that seems to work better. Of course, with transforming, you're going to get some warping of the pixels here. It's cool that you can change from bilinear your interpolation, which nearest neighbor is always going to be the most pixelated, and then bicubic will be the most blurry. I like to stay on bilinear. What? Okay, but it still just does like half of it. I don't know, guys. I don't know anything about 3D. This is so strange, though. All right. Let's see what else is here. And if you guys want me to go into any features, if you joined late and you want me to go back and walk through other things, let me know. I'm happy to poke around and explore with you on this. But let's go back into things that I know how to do. So another big thing is if you've used anything in the animation assist that Procreate has had under Canvas, you'll recognize, so this bar pops up and you can scroll through the onion skinned layers. They took that and created a sketchbook storyboarding like pages functionality within that. So this is super cool. You can add, now they've become opaque layers within here. And if I draw or write on this page and scroll to the next, you're not going to see it. Hi, Tanishka. Thanks for joining. And for anybody that joined while I was either having technical issues or mid-sentence here, we're just previewing some of the features within Procreate 5.2. I got beta access, and so right now this is not available to the public. I see you asked, how do you upload this or download this? This update is not live yet. This is just the beta invite, and so I'm going through some of the features that are included in this update, but this will be available, they've said, before the end of the year, and then it'll just come through as an app update. So if you have automatic updates turned on, it will automatically go through, or you can go into the App Store and update it, but it is not, there's not an official date for when it'll be released yet. So this is cool if you're into journaling, bullet journaling, digital scrapbooking, I think like storyboarding, creating comics, those kinds of things, this will be super useful. And another great thing is that you can always change it back to a regular Procreate canvas to draw it. The last brush used feature, Susan. Yeah. So what that is it comes up as a starred brush set at the top of your brush library here. And straighten out my iPad here. This will always stay locked, or can you move it? Yeah. So it always stays locked to the very top. And in addition to any brushes that you recently used showing up here, I think it'll show like 10, the 10 most recent. You can also swipe over on the brushes to pin them to the top. So if you have a bunch of brushes that you use regularly, this is a really awesome feature, especially if they're from a bunch of different brush sets, that you can just save them all in one place. Additionally, if you don't know what brush set it's in, by swiping over here, you can just tap find and it'll pull you into the brush set that it came from. So how cool is that? This is going to be such a game changer for me. I know you can use the quick menu feature and the set up different menus with the brushes, but for me that's not been as intuitive as just going into the brush library and changing. So the quick menu is a preference that you have to set up here, and it doesn't like standard Procreate gestures does not come with it on. But if you go into gesture controls under quick menu, you can choose how you want to access the quick menu, and this will bring up a different floating menu that then you can access almost every tool option. And you can also set brushes to change to within those. But like I said, I don't find it as intuitive. So what I chose here is tapping the modifier button and also touching a finger to the screen while holding the modifier button. For me, those have been the most purposeful ways to invoke the quick menu. And then last update, they made that you could have multiple quick menus, but I haven't set these up because these are the beta, so these aren't my standard ones. So this is, you've always been able to set which brush you want to do or want to use within the quick menu. But for me, like, I feel like I'm so ingrained into just choosing from the brush menu that switching this way has never been something I've been able to make a habit. So I just think this is going to be like so useful. I was saying earlier, I wish so much that the brush library would pop out the way that the color palette pops out. Maybe next time. I do have favorite sketching brushes out there, the ones you try. And try is the problem, especially between sets. Agree, especially if you've them buried within, like if I go into my regular Procreate, I have so many brushes that finding these is kind of a nightmare. And I tried to like put icons next to them, and I don't know, I've been like starting to sort of cycle through and like remove some brushes and keep things on, but like it gets to be a lot. So I think that it'll just be like a super helpful fix. Do let me know if there's anything else that you want to see here. I'm going through this list of everything that's new to make sure that I didn't forget things. Oh, supposedly, if you have an iPad Pro with 6 gigs of RAM, you can take advantage of more layers. I did a comparison and I didn't see a difference, and I definitely thought that I had 6 gigs of RAM, but maybe I don't. Because then when I just did my standard size, it was the same on the beta, but maybe that's also not active yet. That could be, again, because this is the beta, not 100% of the features are available and active. Ooh, let's look at the cards. So under color palettes, the compact version is the traditional, what we're all used to seeing. But then if you click cards, there's these huge ones. Same. I tried tons of textures before deciding and then don't remember what I liked. Yes, absolutely. Especially when, like, I don't know if you use Abby's like overlay brushes. I love them. Here's a bunch. I think like they're brilliant and genius, but I do struggle when the preview doesn't show the actual texture. And then there's also so many of them. So having things that you can pin, I think is going to be huge for those specifically. Like I said, like I love her overlay brushes and like she is a brush wizard, but like my memory cannot keep up. So colors was what we were going to do. You can rename colors. You can only rename them in the large view. If you pull it out, I don't think it lets you. But then another accessibility feature is that it'll show you the color name up here as well. So if you have, if you're colorblind or you just have like less color vision, this will allow you to know exactly what color you're selecting. I think that's amazing. But then also all of these color names come in automatically and they're not 100% accurate, but they're pretty impressively close. And like some of these I would change, but for the most part, they seem pretty accurate. So yeah, you can see here these different shades of pink both came in as pink, and these I would also term as pink and they came in as red. But on a whole, this is pretty cool. just wanted to say that your sessions with Abby helped a lot getting started with Procreate. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad to hear. We do plan to do more. This year has been a bit of a struggle for me, as I know it has been for a lot of people. But I've definitely not been able to do as many lives as I wanted with her. But she's just like a genius. I honestly just feel like I'm so lucky to be able to like sit there and pick her brain, because she's so multi-talented and like can create things in so many different styles. I'm just a huge fangirl, and I'm not ashamed to say it at all. But let me know if there's anything that you want to see, or we have so many brushes that she's recently released that I'd love to do sessions with. But if there's brush packs that you'd like to see us use more of, even if it's ones that we've done before, that feedback helps immensely, because otherwise we're just kind of like shooting in the dark. But she just yesterday released a huge print pack, and it's like all of her best textures and like print style brushes on steroids. It's a like 8 brush set pack with 250 brushes, a bunch of paper textures, tutorials for each brush set, and it's like I like don't even, it's kind of like overwhelming. I don't even know where to begin. There's so many. So I imported a bunch of them here, and that's what I have. I linked it in the description because I don't know how long I'll stream for, but I was thinking I'd eventually get to like just hanging out and drawing and maybe talking a little less. But that I know sometime in the next few weeks, I think we're planning to do a live stream on that. Thank you so much, Susan. You both are great. You have the brushes that we both make, and they're amazing. Thank you so much. That means the world. I like own every brush that Abby's ever made, and like will forever buy all of her brushes, because like I love reliably knowing I'm going to get a good product. And like there's some brush makers like her and Lisa Glanz, like I always know it's going to be good. So I also like that they both release like tutorials or like PDF quick guides with it, so that you do it, even when it's like a million, you know like where to begin with them. So like 250 brushes is a ton, but let me show you here. She breaks it down, and I'll just give you a sneak peek. Where am I going? The drive, documents, and are you guys digital hoarders? I am such a digital hoarder, and I cannot organize my files to save my life. Like I will, and then I just download more things, and they get cluttered again. Oh my gosh, what am I looking for? Okay, so super organized. That's awesome. And with each brush set, she has these quick start guides. So this is like 8 pages. She has step-by-step instructions, super clear on how to use them. Good morning, Courtney. Good morning, Christine. Thank you so much for joining. Courtney, bear with me. This is my first time streaming alone, and these wonderful folks have had a lot of patience with me as I lost my audio for a bit, all of that. But we're learning. Susan, you have some of her old ones like Soap Bubble and Balloons. She has some crazy cool ones that I don't even know if they're even offered on her site anymore. But like she has just created so many packs. And I think part of it is that she's been doing it for such a long time, but that also I think speaks to how much she knows how to do. It's very cool. So let me reset here, reposition everything so you can see it. I want to make sure that I go through everything else that you could possibly want to see for Procreate 5.2. Oh, they have additional language support for Hindi, Polish, and Thai. Love that. The other mini tweaks are for animation. There's customizable onion skin colors. So when you are in the animation assist here, presumably you can change. Interesting. I don't know what that means. I don't animate. Single touch gestures. So if you use a single touch to move, zoom, undo, redo, rotate, or fit your canvas to the screen. So I have to go into settings for this one, like my iPad settings. Under, I think, the individual app settings. So here we go. So this is where you turn on not only the single touch gestures, but any feedback sounds, or for like the voiceover integration, and also the color description notifications when I have that bar pop up at the top. So the single touch gestures companion is an option within here, and you can see here the bar just pops up. So let's see. So you have to select what you want to do out of these, and then it allows you to do that just with one finger rather than two. You can still use the like traditional gestures at the same time, so that's kind of nice too. But that gives you the optionality, and then you can also zoom with one finger. I don't know what I'm doing here. Okay. Again, more accessibility. Love to see it. I'm going to go into settings to turn that off for now. They now are offering color history on iPads with screens that are 10.2 inches or larger. So I believe what that means is that right now the color palette history has only been available for the 12.9 iPad Pro. Hi, Tree Frog. Hi, Dark Soldier. Welcome, welcome. We're going over Procreate 5.2 beta test updates. Hi, Beth. And maybe getting to drawing. I'm kind of aimlessly streaming right now, so we're just covering everything in the update. Some of this might be repetitive if you're popping in and out, but if you want to, if you have any questions, if you want me to show you anything specifically, I'm happy to go over it. So the color palette history I find super useful. So if they're making that available to more iPads, that's going to be huge. Beth asks, any improvement on brush organization? Yes. So this is the biggest thing I'd say I'm most excited for, is that there is starred here at the top of your brush library a recent brushes panel, and it will show not only your most recently used brushes, but you can also then pin any of your favorites. And so those will stay there in the order that you deem them. And you can also, when you swipe over, find which brush set they're located in, and it'll automatically take you there. So that's like the biggest brush organization improvement. No folders within folders or sets within sets, unfortunately, but hopefully in the future, because I know that that's a huge request. But this is like still such a like big improvement. Yeah, subfolders would be the dream. That still is the pinnacle. And Substacks within the gallery. Oh, I want that very, very much, because again, this is the beta, so I don't have all of my regular stuff. But if I go into my very unorganized gallery, I was just talking about digital hoarding, and no surprise, this is not any different. It's a mess. So it would be great to be able to subcategorize things for sure. Being able to find the set, agree, definitely. I think that for, okay, another freeze. Overall, not too bad, but this is why it's a beta test, you know. Do a hard close here. Being able to find it within the set, especially some brushes, no shade to brush creators, but some brushes are really ambiguously named, and it can be so confusing to sort through it all. I always try to use emojis to help delineate, but just being able to tap and find them is pretty cool. And also just like, even if you know the brush set, if it's super far down in your brush library, which this doesn't have like a ton to scroll through, I haven't imported that many, but if you have one that's like 50 sets down, being able to quickly hop down to the rest of that set, I think is going to be great too. The other like big brush settings update is that you can set like points of the size that you want to jump between. So you can set 3 points. And you can do the same for opacity. And that doesn't mean that you can't scroll through. Oh, sorry, moving things around. That doesn't mean that you can't scroll through to other sizes, but having those marks is going to be super cool. And I love that you can do it for opacity too. I didn't expect that. More organized than my gallery. I don't know. I didn't dive deep into it. I had a like, I don't know. I was trying to organize it, and I ended up compiling like 8 different stacks into one, and then trying to sort it out. I usually do it by month, but trying to sort it after the fact, after I'd already combined them, was just a disaster. So it's never been the same since. That was like a few months ago. It's just been a mess. What else? Oh, you can increase the size of the text. I think that this is another thing that you'll do through settings in accessibility. Like the regular accessibility portal here. So I think it will follow the text size of everything else on your iPad. It is for sure not intuitive to organize it all. Hi, Camille. Oh my gosh, I owe you an email. You sent me an email last week. It was so nice. But thank you for popping in. All right, how do you get pen pressure without an Apple Pencil? On an iPad, let's see. I have something cool. If you have an existing stylus and it isn't one of like 2 types, you can't get pressure sensitivity. There are 2 third-party styluses that work. They're all discontinued though, so I don't know if this will be helpful. However, there are some brush settings that you can change to make it more, um, to help replicate some of those changes. Yeah, Camille. So I'm playing in the 5.2 beta and going through those features. Definitely let me know if you have anything specific that you want to see. But let's jump into some of the changes that you can do to make it more as if you had pressure sensitivity. And then I also have a brush pack recommendation because Abby created a whole set of touch brushes. So let's do that first here. Again, this is something that I do want us to go through on a live stream because I have these brushes. They're super cool. She made them so that whether you're using the full Procreate or Procreate on your iPad, you can get some of the effects of pressure sensitivity without an Apple Pencil. So, actually, I saw this on TikTok, of course, and wanted to try it out. And it's kind of a gimmick, but it's kind of fun too. This is a brush stylus that it's like a capacitive stylus, so that is like, if you remember before the Apple Pencil, there were styluses that were like pens with then the like rubbery tip. That's a capacitive stylus. So what that means is there's no tech involved. It doesn't connect via Bluetooth, and it functions the same essentially as painting with your finger. So you're not going to get that pressure sensitivity. I think I have settings so that it isn't showing up right now. Or maybe it's that brush specifically. Okay, so there's no pressure sensitivity. Which I'm assuming you have something similar, but it's just a fine tip, it sounds like. So these brushes that she created are, actually, let's go back into my regular Procreate and I can show you what some of these do. See, this is the madness of all of the brush packs and being able to find. Maybe I should increase my font size so that I could actually read some of these small names instead of scrolling back and forth and up and down. Let's see. So this pack encompasses a ton of different mediums. She kind of added just like a little bit of everything. I don't know why this is not working very well. I think maybe it's my palm rejection. I'm not doing a very good job of demonstrating that because of this. Disabled. I don't know, guys. Maybe it's my screen protector. Because it really, like, you can see when I draw with my finger, it's not a problem. So I'll just show you with that. So without that pressure sensitivity, you still are able to get the, oh, thank you, Courtney, about my aesthetic icons. Oh, I'll pop down here. I had fun reorganizing for the iOS 15 update and all my widgets. Like, how cute is this guy? Oh man. Okay, so you can still get, let's see, what am I trying to say? There's more ink at the start of the stroke and less at the end. And some of these, she has added like a nice thick and thin effect. So you're able to make it look more natural. The watercolor ones work really well and taper at the, maybe not this one, some of them taper at the beginning and end. There we go, we got some taper, so that helps make it look more natural. But the answer is that you unfortunately do not get pressure sensitivity without the Apple Pencil. The third-party styluses, which I assume if you're going to get a new stylus, you would probably just get a Apple Pencil, and you're using what you have right now because it's what you have. But these work well. I don't know if I have mine charged right now. Okay, yeah, they work and they're pressure sensitive, but it is not as good as the Apple Pencil. So I got this for my iPhone because if you're using the Pocket app, you also, on the newer iPhones, you won't get the pressure sensitivity. But they don't make them anymore, which is hugely disappointing. Catch up on chat here. Finicky and won't work with a lot of brush sets. That's what I have found too. I think it's nice, the touch set is nice to know that it'll work with other with the brush stylus, but I agree. I have found it a bit finicky, but I think, like, again, it's a gimmick. It's kind of fun. I really think it must be my screen protector that's making it not work on this for some reason. It's super strange because I have had more success with it than I'm showing right here, right now. Okay. Okay. Last big thing. This is super cool. Let's throw down some things quickly here. So this sad little mushroom here. This is going to be super exciting. The adjustments menu with filters. Again, if you have an Apple Pencil, you are able to switch between the pencil and the layer for the filters. So if you go in and you do a motion blur with the whole layer, you can, in the middle, switch to the pencil and still use the brush filters. And so what that also means is that you can use the eraser, and right? I should be able to. Maybe not. Maybe it's just okay. But you can further then make tweaks and adjustments. Maybe blur isn't the best one to demonstrate for that. So if I do bloom here, then I can switch to the pencil. Okay, so it looks like you can only then erase things that you've changed with the pencil filter. But I still think that this is a really cool change. So you can't like make whole layer adjustments and then go in with the eraser and remove those changes. But still, having this drop down, and then you can switch back and forth and add on the effects more and more. That's super cool. Welchie, if you've applied, keep waiting. They sent out the first batch of invitations last night. From what I understand, if anybody doesn't accept within 48 hours, they will move on to fill those spots. So if you haven't heard, like, don't write it off completely. You might still get an email. It just means that you weren't in the first round. So I hope you do. I hope you get it. Courtney, did you apply too? I feel like I saw that they have 10,000 slots. And so I hope that you guys get it. I think that after, like, they had some specific people that, like, in the application, it was if you used 3D modeling or accessibility features in other apps. I think that they selected a certain amount of people based on that, and the rest was random. And so, oh, you set alarms. Oh my gosh, I really hope you'd get it. I feel like 10,000 is a lot, but I have no idea how many people use Procreate. So hopefully the next round. And if nothing else, from what I can tell, this is super polished, like on this stream. So it's been an hour. I've had it freeze twice. Once while I was doing like 3D modeling. So that's not super shocking, but overall it looks super polished. There's really been like so few issues. Oh, hi, Veronica. Oh my gosh, thank you for joining. This is I'm kind of scattered. I'm just like chilling, hanging out, talking about 5.2 and drawing sad little mushrooms here. So this isn't as organized or instructive as my other lives, but what it means is that I can hang out and chat with you guys, which is fun. Once you get added to the beta, they add you to a sub forum within the Procreate forums, and the known issues that they have is really not that long. I think like it's also not like these aren't super severe issues, I should say. And so I really don't think it's going to be that long. I can't put a date on it. Obviously don't have insider info, but like, oh, sorry, bumped my mic. It's like, it looks so polished. I think within a month to a month and a half, it should for sure be out and live. They said before the end of the year, so if nothing else, within 2021. Okay, so let me know if there's anything specific that you want to see. How do you like, oh, I missed a question. How do you like the new 3D features? It's cool. I have no idea what I'm doing though. I can pop in and show you some of this. I just know so little about 3D, and I haven't really used it in my work. I think for mockups, this will be super cool. You can copy and import artwork in. So I had imported this image earlier, and you can then transform it onto the model itself. It comes with a bunch of 10 different models that you can use, and then you can import a certain file type. I was trying to import Animal Crossing models, but none of them were prepared to be painted on, I guess. I think they were like 3D printing models. And so I don't know how to find models other than like if you make them yourself. But again, like I don't use this in my work, and so I don't know anything about it. But I was showing like here you have metallic capabilities. There's roughness adjustments that you can do. You can add a bunch of layers and use blend modes. Same, never used it. Looks fun to play around with. The demo Procreate did with the rollerblade was cool. I don't know if I saw that. I know with like, I've been trying to keep track of all their sneak peeks, but like, I just feel like I'm gonna love seeing other people utilize this function, and it's not going to be something that I'm ever going to know how to properly use. But it's cool. It's definitely cool. Even like the augmented reality stuff, like I've never used anything with AR on my phone or my iPad, and I was like trying to put this in my living room last night, playing with my camera, and like I just have no idea. It's cool. It's super cool. People are gonna do amazing stuff with it. I'm not that person. Yeah, I never think about the AR functionality, and I think it's just like, it's so out of my realm of, it feels like it's the future. Like, I don't know how to use it. It's cool though. Argentina, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. Are you still in the central time zone in Argentina? Is it the same time? It's 1 p.m. here. Where am I based? I'm in Chicago, Illinois. Where are you guys all from? I mean, I know some of you. We have Camille from France. If you're in France right now, presumably. Santa Cruz, California. That sounds nice. New York. Well, I guess I'm gonna start putzing around with some brushes. London. Oh my goodness. Yukon, Oklahoma? Is that what OK stands for? Ooh, no, I'm not from the Pacific Northwest, but I love it there. I love to visit there. No, I'm in the Midwest. I've always been in the Midwest. When I started, I lived in Wisconsin. I grew up in Minnesota, and now I live here. Just been moving south gradually, getting further and further away from the winters. Jacksonville, Florida, but grew up in Chicago. Oakland. Okay. All right. Very cool. Oh my gosh, you grew up in Minnesota. Where? See, this is the cool. Alaska. Oh my gosh, where in Alaska? My brother lives in Alaska. You guys, this is so cool because I don't feel like I get this level of like getting to know you. Oh my goodness, Woodbury. So I went to college at UW Stout. And so anytime I drove to visit friends in the Twin Cities, I would go right through Woodbury. UW Stout is just over the Minnesota-Wisconsin border. So that's so cool. I grew up in northeastern Minnesota, up by like north of Grand Marais, if you know, north of Duluth, north of Grand Marais, just like on the Canadian border in the middle of the woods. Just over the bridge. Exactly. Yes, Duluth is very, very cool. I love the Great Lakes, of course. a lot of people want to know if they have added stabilization to the selection tool, specifically when using Lasso Color Fill. Oh my gosh, I would love that, and I wish that I had better news for you, but it does not seem that they've added that. There have not, as far as I can tell, been any changes to the selection tool. I don't see anything in the list of the updates. Let's see. Yeah. Stabilization of the selection tool when using Lasso Color Fill. So I guess I don't totally know what that means, the Lasso Color Fill. Like where the stabilization. Do you mean when you're drawing? Maybe? Because when you draw freehand, you're right. Like there's no stabilization, and it's also like it feels like an imprecise line, if that's what you mean. Doing color fill. So I guess I don't know what the stabilization with color fill would mean. So yeah, let me know what you mean by that. I was using the shape selection tools today and wishing that there was some kind of a like way to make this more precise as to where it's placed, because you can make it I think you can make it a perfect circle, right? But you can't change where this is located without going into the transform tool. So you can't like move your live selection around the screen. I would love to be able to move the marquee tool. I feel like, okay, I answered it. In Photoshop, you can move this circle around the page without it dragging anything on your canvas. You can just move the selection area to a different part, and I'm shocked that that's not included here. But I know that they added brush stabilization features and brush smoothing features. So there's universal settings that'll affect all of the brushes, but you can also individually change it within the Brush Studio. Under preferences, where you would access the pressure curve, there's also brush stabilization and motion filtering. But yeah, nothing for the selection tool. I agree, Courtney. I'm so sad that there's still no brush folders. But this is still a step in the right direction, and like I don't know how difficult it is, or like what goes into creating like folders within folders and subfolders, substacks, those kinds of things. But I think like this is a great start, and being able to find the brush set that it's included in is really awesome. All right. So I guess I'm going to start drawing. I don't know what I'm going to start drawing. Yeah, a great start. I'm going to use some of the Printworks brushes, and I have really not, this just came out yesterday, and I like bought it the second I saw the email, but I have not really played around with this set that much. So let's play with some of the lino and woodcut brushes. I've already laid down a paper texture, and these are similar. I'll throw down a new one for you to show you. So these are similar to Abby's overlay brushes. If you've used those, she has this whole set, and there's, I don't know the difference between these, so I'm not going to talk on it, but I'm using one of the ones that say overlay, because I know all of the settings that I need to do, and I'm a rebel, so I'm not opening up the PDF right now. Unlike her overlay brushes though, the only color that you have to select is just a true white. You don't have to set your secondary colors. So in the past, you'd set the primary color is black, secondary color is white. Now you only need to set the primary color is white. So that's a new change. And then just swoosh over the screen and you can see it just looks grungy. Nick, the update will be free. So Procreate updates are always free. You just pay one time for the app and then you own the software, and all updates are pushed through. There's no in-app purchases. They are like very true to that as a core concept or a core value. Oh my gosh, there's so much chat. I'm sorry, guys. I'm falling behind on chat. Oh my gosh, I would love to try Inktober, Alfredo, but I just have commitment issues. And let's see, a couple years ago, I did a Cattober challenge and I made it halfway through. I love seeing everybody else's. I cannot commit to 31 days of that. Although I probably feel like me saying that I can't means that I should. I love it. Oh my gosh. I love seeing all of you guys. I recognize all of your icons. I recognize your names. This is so fun. Thanks for hanging out with me. Okay. I'm afraid I'm going to say your name wrong. Johannes? Did I say that right? Johannes? All right. You say you've just downloaded the beta and you're so lost. How, where, what? Is there any starting page to working in 3D? Oh my goodness, I feel the exact same way. I was just talking about how I am like not the target audience for the 3D stuff. Just say, are you sure, Joe? Okay, all right. Last one you did was day 8. Yeah, it's hard. And it's especially, I think I always get really excited to try it and then it's just start looking at the prompts. And it takes a lot of like creativity to come up with something for like those random prompts day after day. I definitely struggle with that. So, because it's not just the time invested in drawing, it's figuring out the concept and you know, then actually pushing through and posting it. Hi from Vietnam. Oh my goodness. Hello. What time is it where you are? I know you're in the future, so it's Wednesday. So you worked with ZBrush in college. I don't know that software, but I've dabbled in Blender, which is just like the free 3D modeling software. And it breaks my brain. 1:22 a.m. Holy smokes. Well, thank you for stopping by. The 3D stuff is so cool. I cannot wait to see what people will do. I do not have any idea what I'm doing with it. So I just downloaded the models that are included. Which I'm sure you did too. And okay, this is good to show. The more complicated ones are broken up by material, like the different components. But like, I don't know. I guess maybe I'll use it for mock-ups, but that's all. I don't know. And even like trying to figure out the lighting and stuff and the augmented reality, like it's so cool. I have no idea what I'm doing. So I don't know where to begin with that. But I did see that you could import artwork. And so I think like if you have something that doesn't require a lot of I'm gonna use the right terminology, but like, say you got something with like one plane, like a pillow, and you just need to put your artwork on this single flat surface, like that is the extent that I will be doing. Yeah. So I like, again, so cool. Can't wait to see what people do with it. I think I even put in my beta application, which I don't know if I was just like probably randomly selected, but I was like, I don't know anything about 3D. So let's see, where was I? I was going to put down, so I put down my overlay texture, and what I actually found for this is rather than setting the blend mode to overlay, I'm going to use soft light, which is just kind of like a toned down version of overlay. So that is what I have found specifically with these brushes, her overlay brushes I usually use on the overlay setting. Okay. So I think, and because I haven't tried any of these brushes out, I am not sure what I am, like if this is how they're supposed to be used, but I think I'm just going to fill my canvas with a solid color and then use the brushes to remove the color. I agree, Susan, that it's underrated, and anything that brings more people into the Procreate family is a good thing. So I felt the same way about animation. I would love to be able to use that function, but I rarely do. But if it allows people to use the app more and be more creative, I think that's the best thing. It's really like, I understand that I can't do everything that other apps do. And certainly like if you use vector, that's like a huge gap. But as far as a super accessible and powerful app that doesn't lock you into a subscription, it's just unbeatable. Right, let's do... Afraid that it'll become some sort of a jack of all trades, master of none, power hungry and overcomplicated. Agree. I feel that concern. I think that you know, as long as it doesn't take away from what exists within the app and they keep up making some of these changes, like the recent favorite brushes, like I'll be happy with it and won't mind all of the features that they add. But I agree that's definitely been a concern of mine too, especially because there are like requests like subfolders that they haven't executed, and it's been years that people have been requesting that. So for sure, I see that concern. But as long as like, you know, the iPad keeps getting more powerful, the 3D functionality, at least from my brief testing, doesn't like crash, like it doesn't impact the, what am I trying to say? It doesn't impact any of the processing power of everything else, if that makes sense. So as long as that's the case, that's fine. But like I would always prefer to see them make updates to the illustration side of things. But I think that their mission to keep the interface clean, to keep all updates free, like those kinds of things, they've stayed super true to, and they're able to continue incorporating more while keeping such a clean interface. And so I have faith. I have faith that it'll work out all right. All right, Alfredo, thank you so much for joining. And Tree Frog, good luck on your art piece. Thank you for hanging out. Yeah, I think I'm just going to just start drawing. I'll try to keep up with chat as much as possible, but hang out for a bit here, and I can always pop in and show any features if you're joining later and you didn't see everything. But yeah, let's just get into it. Totally agree about simple, or what seems like a simple improvement, not being incorporated. And really, like, subfolders are so heavily requested. If you've like gone into their request section of the Procreate forum, like that one is 4 years old or more, and like the most upvoted request on there, and it still hasn't been incorporated. So as someone who doesn't know anything about developing, maybe it's not that easy, but that's the kind of thing that I would like to see. But they're like the 5X update with the Brush Studio, like that's the direction that I love to see. And things like these, adding the brush size markers, like those little things, like anything that improves the your workflow and efficiency while still keeping everything really intuitive to use is the direction I'd like to see them continue. Where's the baby today? Oh my gosh, she is curled up. I don't know if I want to disturb her. She's doing that thing where she's basically like folded in half and her head is under the rest of her body as she's sleeping. I have like a little faux fur covered bed for her in the corner of the room. Anything that has faux fur on it, I call it a pokey trap, because she can be very demanding about sitting in my lap, and sometimes I just can't get work done with her there. So it's a trap to keep her out of the way and out of trouble. Okay, I think I'm going to do a layer mask and remove the color. Does that make sense? Sleep with the head upside down. I love that. I love that. She also does this thing where she puts her face like face down while she sleeps sometimes. And like, I don't know how she breathes. She's fine, but like, I don't get it. It looks hilarious though. Hi, George. They do not have a specific date that they're going to release 5.2. They've just said before the end of the year. Procreate doesn't typically announce a specific date unless it's like within a week. They seem to announce it once they've like sent it off to the App Store and pushed the update to like schedule. And I think it moving into beta means that it'll happen sooner rather than later. From what I've seen in the beta forums and the info that they've given us, there isn't that many known issues. We'll see what people find in using the beta, but it seems super polished, and like I haven't really encountered that many issues. I've had it freeze a couple times. So hopefully soon, before the end of the year is what they've said, but there's no official date yet. Teacup Yorkie is curled up on the bed, just snoozing away. Oh my goodness, so sweet. I like cannot believe how tiny teacup animals are, especially Yorkies. They're so small. It's so cute. I love everything about that. Like, they're just so miniature. How? And like, what does the world look like for them? Everything's so huge. Oh yeah, sorry. There's, I think because they don't always know what issues might arise in the beta, they can't necessarily plan on it, but they might release it with a few outstanding issues. I think like in the past, they'll release the update and then like a week later, they'll usually follow up with a patch. But the beta means that it's close. So that's good. I don't know what I'm doing here with this lino cut set. I'm trying to think of it as like removal of the material, but maybe I should just do the inverse of this. Maybe I should read the instructions. That's the real answer. Okay, I'm doing it correctly, I think. Okay. All right, we're gonna start over, but I know what I'm doing now. Hi, Bill. Thank you for joining me. Oh, Joe, thank you so much for coming. I hope you have a nice evening. It is evening for you, right? Have a good evening. Thank you for popping by and enjoy playing with the beta. Toria, she thinks she's the size of a Great Dane. Isn't that the truth, though? Hi, Camille. I'm assuming that you've been lurking in the background, or you're popping in and out, but I said hi again. Brush management features. Yeah, no problem. I said, I'm going to be making art, but I'm happy to show anything that you want to see. And the only brush management feature is this recent brushes set, which is always pinned to the top of the brush library, and it's delineated with a star, which is nice, so it won't get as lost, and you can't rename it. So this will save, I think, up to your 10 most recent brushes, but then you can also swipe over on any of the brushes to pin them, or you can also tap find here and it'll pull you down into whatever set that came from. Oh, Camille, are you playing in the 5.2 update as well? Courtney, I really hope that you get somebody's place if somebody doesn't accept it. So that's the only brush organization. I kind of forgot what I was saying, but that's the brush organization update. I think for if you have massive amounts of brush sets, I'll show you my normal Procreate, and you scroll through, what'll be great about the find option is being able to jump down and not having to find that specific brush set throughout your whole list, which can be a lot. And so for Lisa's character drawing toolkits, I will sometimes want to jump back in and use one of the brushes from that set partway through the process. So it's not something that I'm using super consistently to draw with, but having to scroll through and find that, that can be difficult. I feel I spend so much time scrolling up and down. So the jump to feature, I think, will be good. And then the pinned brushes, of course, is a game changer. And you can also, so it only saves 10, but you can clear anything that you don't want, and kind of keep it tidier that way. Hi, Kira. Oh my gosh, Courtney, you posted on the Circle Design Cuts community about it. You guys, I'm so shy. Yeah, not everything we wanted. And I was saying the other thing that I would have loved is to have the brush library pop out the same way the color palette does, into a floating window. And so I'm sad that that isn't the case, but this is for sure a step in the right direction. Other things that are super great about the brushes in particular is that you can set size points, that you can set up to 3 points within the size adjustment bar. Oh, whoa. I thought it was only 3. Interesting. It just allowed me to set 4. And then you can like move it to other sizes, but it like snaps into those places. So that's cool. You can do the same for opacity. There's a ton of amazing accessibility features that I think is just going to increase the Procreate user base, which is amazing. I know I got an email from somebody that was vision impaired and was loving being able to do watercolor in Procreate because of the backlit screen. Doing traditional didn't work for her anymore, but the backlit screen and the higher contrast allowed her to see and like do the art that she loves doing. And stories like that to me is what makes digital art just like so incredible. The fact that like traditional mediums might not work for you in your situation, but you can do what you love to do and like create cool things on the iPad. Like that's amazing. So the accessibility features, some of it is accessed within the settings menu with the voiceover integration, and then like the specific what's it called, advanced settings. So that pulls you into the iPad settings itself, and there's like single touch gestures and color description notifications, tap assistance, initial touch location support, which I'm assuming is more directly associated with the voiceover integration, so that like as you're touching the screen, it'll show you it'll verbalize. There's the audio component of what the menu option that you're over on. Oh my gosh, you're so welcome, Bill. I'm happy to. I felt like I won the lottery when I found out that I got the beta test, and so I figured it'd be fun to pop in and share with anybody that wanted to see the features. So I turned on some of those accessibility features, and you can see right here, this is the single touch companion menu, and I know it's small. I wish I could like increase the size of this, but there's undo and redo, and then to access the zoom and move capabilities with the single touch, you just have to turn them on, and then you're able to zoom with a single finger and turn it off. Even so, like if you have the single touch move capability turned on, you can still use the dual finger movement. And so I think that that's very cool if there is something that you want to use a single touch feature for, but you still want to, I don't know, even just like having the extra menu floating around here, I think will be useful for people. I do not know when the features are coming out, unfortunately. My speculation is end of November, early December, but all of that Procreate has said is before the end of the year. So the other updates, we have increased color palette cards. So these not only are like huge swatches, but they have the color names. And so if you're colorblind or you have less color vision, this automatically names all of the colors. And I was saying, like, it's actually pretty impressive how accurate it is. Bill asks, do you know if there's any voice speak to features, as in if you say undo, cut, etc.? I don't know. So I am not deeply familiar with the voiceover software. I know that like I can talk to you. Let's see. voice control. So perhaps, I'm not sure. I'll have to play around with it, not on stream. It looks like Apple's accessibility features have that capability. The only thing is that I know Procreate specifically mentioned in the update voiceover, and maybe they're using that as like their catch-all phrasing, but they did not mention voice control. Oh, Spencer, you just got an iPad to use Procreate. I am so excited for you. Like, honestly, it's so worth it for this software. And I think like the mobility of it, it's like there's nothing quite like it. Like I have it's not a Wacom, I have a Huion tablet, but that has to be hooked up to your computer. And like having something this powerful in an app that's portable, like I bring this to the drugstore while I'm waiting to pick up my prescriptions. I like, it's like my my security blanket. Like I bring this everywhere I go just in case, and that way I always have this amazingly powerful tool to use. And so I think like that alone makes it worth it. I hope that you enjoy it. I'm a full Apple person because I kind of like, they just suck you in, and then you can only like everything integrates so well together, and then like it's hard to get out of it. You have like iCloud, and it's a racket. But I like with video editing, I fully understand why people use PCs and more powerful machines, of course. Your family would get annoyed. Oh my gosh, my husband, he would constantly like, he would probably just think that I was saying something to him, listening to his podcast or something, and he'd be constantly pausing it and saying, what? Because that always happens when I talk to the cats already, you know. I'll say something to the cats and he'll think I'm talking to him, and I'm like, oh no, I was just talking to Pokey. As you do. Oh, I'm so glad that you've been liking the brushes, Spencer. That is awesome to hear. That's the other thing that's great about digital is being able to have all of the different mediums, and not needing to switch your whole setup. Fur friends do love being conversed with. I love when they talk back. I think it's the funniest thing. And I think I read somewhere that cats, they don't like have any reason to meow to each other. They use other ways of communicating. So when they meow, it's specifically something they do to talk to their humans, which is so funny. Like, of course they have us just at their beck and call, obviously. this video floating around of a cat who has so many different contextual meows. Oh my goodness. That is amazing, and I'm sure that the owner knows exactly what each of them means, which is just the funniest. It kind of reminds me of, I've seen TikToks of this dog, I think it's named Bunny, that uses like a colorful button, like a huge keypad to communicate, and it can like press a button and the button says walk, and it even will like break it down into like want or like smaller parts of talk buttons, and the dog can learn over time. They've been training it how to communicate using these buttons, and it is so amazing. I mean, dogs are just like so brilliant. I think it's the one that I've seen is a poodle, and I think that that's like one of the smartest. Oh, Merlin is such a sweet name. I mean, like you should. I can't like. I'm of two minds. Like, I think it'd be so cool to communicate. I also wonder, like, for sure my cats would just be like pests about it and probably just do things to be annoying. Like make a scene and make a fuss, but like I just think like it's so incredible that you can train your dog to communicate with you like that. Yeah, they would always ask for treats for sure. As it is, like my one cat, Toronto, loves to try to escape and just wants to be an outside cat. He's not. We live in the city. He's not ever going to be an outside cat. But like we'll if we open a window and he can like sit by the screen, he just will meow to be let out, as if like that's not even a thing that we've ever done. He just escaped once last year for a week. But now he's got it in his head that he can be an outdoor cat. And so like if he could communicate, it would be the most obnoxious thing. It would be constantly. It already is, I love him, but your dog is going insane because the doorbell rang. He just wants to make sure that you heard the doorbell, Courtney, and somebody's there and needs to make sure that you're aware of it. Oh, this is Christmassy. I don't want this. Merlin became a dog when he turned 5 and started barking at trucks that passed by, like, Dad, a truck, a truck. From puppyhood to doghood. Oh, asleep on the back of the couch. What kind of dog? I've always thought that I should, when I get a dog, I'd love a greyhound, because they make great apartment dogs from what I've heard. And they also seem to think that they're cats. Oh, Corgi Beagle. Oh my goodness. I have to look up with it. Oh my god. I just googled Corgi Beagle Mix, and this is too cute. Does he have floppy ears or stand-up ears? I need to know. This is very, very my information. Bori or a bee. Studio lap cat. Yeah. I had to get water and the cat. We'll see how long he stays. This is the one that likes to attempt to escape. So we have like a Apple AirTag tracker on him now. It's the price you pay. One likes the PC keyboard, the other right under your arms. Oh no! Sorry, guys. Susan, the right under the arms while drawing, that is my other cat, Pokey. She likes to be directly on my lap with her paws over one arm and then my other arm like draped on top of her. It's impossible to get stuff done, which is why I have like a bed set up for her to like hopefully choose over demanding to sit on me. It's just like, how do you say no? You know, when they want to hang out with you, how do you possibly kick them off? Susan, you are so welcome. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for joining me and hanging out. And I know this is kind of like scattered and a little all over the place, but again, to anybody who joined, if you want me to pop in and show any features, or if you just want to have me in the background, that's cool too. I'll probably stream for Another 40 minutes or so. Make some progress on this. Seriously, how do you say no? Like, you don't, especially, I don't know, cats are so finicky and fickle, and like, if they want to be affectionate, it's just like a gift that they're giving you. You have to say yes. Susan, I love that idea of a mushroom pack with different stems, tops, moss, textures, patterns. Oh, that would be so fun. Just like being able to mix and match all of them. As soon as Addie releases it. Oh, I love that idea, and I will, if I do it, I will send them to you to test, because I just think that's super stellar. yeah, this is way faster. I started out by trying to use an individual cutter brush and not having to make all of those marks separately. This is much faster. But I'm still doing the opposite of what I need to be doing. Don't mind this color here. I am sort of unsure what I'm doing here, but I'm using her Abby's CMYK Alternates palette that came here, and I've just duplicated my initial cut layer and colored these in accordingly. They're all set to multiply. Oh, Bill, thank you so much for hanging out for so long. I hope you have a good rest of your day. No worries at all. Thank you seriously to everybody that's joined to hang out. Totally. Yes. Love to Merlin. So what I think I'm going to do is start cutting away some of the color on these various layers. But what I don't want the brown background. So I think I'm going to just do a rough selection and remove that. Oh, you gave Merlin a smack on the forehead from me. I'm assuming that's like a smooch sound. Always one at the party with the extended goodbyes. That would be me. Courtney will understand. It's called Minnesota goodbye. If you don't get caught in at least 3 more conversations in your goodbye, you're not doing it right. I need some hot dish, then I'm gonna need your hot dish recipe, and then we can say goodbye. Yes. Oh, bye, Camille. Thank you so much for coming by. Have a good rest of your evening. Yes, I will leave this up. I think it'll take a little bit to process, but it should be available for replay afterward. And then I do plan, because I know this is so scattered, I am going to make a video more concisely talking through the updates, and that will hopefully be up this week. So yes, and more answer than you needed. Thank you for stopping by, seriously. Oh, thank you so much about the colors. I honestly have no idea what I'm doing here with the colors, but it's kind of fun to play around when you don't know what you're doing. And I haven't actually like printed things like this in real life before, and so I don't know if this is at all similar, but I do appreciate that. All of the colors that I'm using as well are from a palette provided with this brush set, which I do have linked in the video description, but it's Uproot Brush's most recent pack. And this is from the CMYK palette. you've been subscribed to the channel for a while, but the first time you've watched a live, oh my goodness, thank you so much for joining. I know this is a different timing that I would do with a live for Abby or a live with Abby because she's in Australia, and so we have a small window of time when our time zones would work well for each other, which is usually quite a bit later than this. But I've had chill art stream on my whiteboard as a possible to do for a long time now, like 3 months now, and I've always been too afraid to do it, but this seems like a good reason to. So maybe I'll do this more often. I feel like the first is always the scariest, and then after that it gets a little easier each time. 4:39 a.m. Oh my gosh. Holy cow. Well, I hope that you feel well rested enough throughout the day. That's kind of rough. Are you working on anything or just hanging out? Oh, you can, if you type it, I will know who you are then, and I can refer to you by your name. I'm sorry, I don't have a way of pronouncing it as is. magic mushrooms. Yes. It's a strange way to decide on the colors because I don't always know what it's going to look like. As you remove one. But it's also kind of exciting. It reminds me of those scratch to draw things that have the like chalky layer and then a marbly rainbow glossy color underneath, and you scratch off the chalky stuff to draw an image in the rainbow. It's kind of what this feels like. I'm glad you guys understood what I was talking about from that sad little description. Always wanted to be an Etch-a-Sketch artist, but can barely draw with Procreate. Oh, the Etch-a-Sketch art is unbelievable, especially the smaller the Etch-a-Sketch. I don't know how they can possibly do that. It's wild. For sure, stick with Procreate. I think one thing that I've come to really love about art and my journey of learning to illustrate and draw is that there isn't an endpoint and there's always more to learn. I think that means that I can continue, like I won't get sick of it, and I can continue pursuing this for forever, and there will always be more gratifying challenges on the horizon. So yeah, but Procreate is definitely a lot easier than Etch-a-Sketch. Mushrooms on toast. Man, I have not been able to learn to enjoy mushrooms yet. But maybe I just haven't had them prepared the right way. Because I felt that way, with other vegetables like eggplant, for example. I just never used to like it, but once you have it in a dish that, I don't know, suits your tastes a little better, I was able to enjoy it more. Alright, I think I'm going to wrap up within the next 10 minutes or so. Finish this off. And I think we need to do the most gratifying part, which is shift everything off register slightly. Whew. It's fun to try something new. I did not know how this was going to turn out, and even like the difference between having everything off register and not, or turning off the sketch, it was really like I did not know how this was going to turn out until it was done. It's fun though. Thank you, Joanna. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for hanging out. I know this was definitely different, and I so appreciate all of you for joining. Let me know what you thought, and like critical feedback too. I won't have the issues with music if you were here at the beginning. I know I had a brief moment where all of the audio cut out, but yeah, let me know what you guys think. If you enjoyed this, but really it was just so much fun to talk to you guys and hang out and explore the 5.2 features. If you want to check out these brushes and paper textures, the link is in the description of the video. If you are curious about more 5.2 stuff, I mentioned earlier in the stream, but I will be releasing a video hopefully this week going through all the updates. That'll be a little more concise and focused. And hopefully I will post more tutorials super soon. And yes, the mushroom pack. That is such a brilliant idea, and if you're okay with it, I will pursue that. Minnesota goodbye, Courtney. Thank you guys so much. All right, I am going to end this. I'll see you soon.